F4LESS roller again, guys. Putting up the birds. Man, today they went up. And I mean, they went up. The seagulls pushed them up. I think the red-tail pushed them up. I've never seen them fly so high in my life. They just kept pushing and pushing, and they went up, 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 until they were like almost couldn't see a kid anymore. But they came down together like this. So gotta be happy with that, you know. I got a bird here that's rolling good, but she won't kit. And she has not been kitting for a while now. So it is a bird that is really not worth anything in competition. But the roll wise, man, if I could catch her in the view, I will record her in the roll. She's got a good roll. She's got a good depth. But don't do nothing if you're not in the kit, you know. So this year I'll be calling birds for sure. So whichever one is not doing it right will be taken out. Even though I don't have many birds flying, it's time to take out those trouble birds. And you know, guys, it's okay. You know, it's okay to take out those birds. Feed is not cheap anymore, and you know, they got to earn their food. So if they don't want to be in the kit, then they got to go. You know. Now, if anybody want a bird that just rolls, they can have a bird like that. But you know, if I was doing competition, she would not be a bird that I would put my life on the line for. So if I feel that way about a specific bird, I will take her out. There she is. Let me see if she does any good rolls for us. Alright, guys. Try to steady out. But oof, it's throwing out the camera for sure. See, the kit's here. She's by herself. Oh man, she busted a roll back there. I don't even know if I caught that. But you know, such birds need to go, because all they're gonna do is, you know, create confusion in the kit. And I don't plan to fly competition this year, just because I have a lot of projects to get done. I'm not gonna have much time to fly birds. I mean, I'll put them up just for the hell of it, just like I am right now. But I'll be working on the yard as they do their thing up there. And, you know, I'll fly them out to keep them conditioned. But this year I'm not planning to breed. So I will be flying what I have left over here. And I'll just let them do their own thing. And hopefully they work together. But you know, time will tell. Time will tell. Got another bird here that broke away from the kit because the duck flew through. But, you know, it's stuff like this that you're going to have to work through. Oh, dang. I don't know if I caught that one in the roll. But, yeah, guys. When you build a team, you know, I don't know about you guys, but for me, they got to be in it like this. You know, if they're done rolling, they got to come back in. And that's what I look for. And in competition, that's what you need. But I have not even started feeding these birds to come on a roll yet. I am going to start doing that here pretty soon once the weather stay a little bit consistent. We just got hit with snow like crazy. Just like a day ago. Okay. It was like 34 degrees. Last night was like 25. But you know, when the weather's still crazy like this, it's hard to cut them on feed. Because you know, it was just 80 the other day when I did my video. And today is in the 40s. So it's nice and cold. Like I said, stuff like that will throw your kid off. You know, it'll throw your kid off. It'll throw your feeding routine off. You know, you really can't cut back because those 2-3 days of heat, my birds barely ate, and all of a sudden, it drops down and we get snow and it's like 30 to 34 degrees for another day, and then drop down to like 25. Stuff like that plays a big role in your birds as well. They use that energy that you feed them, especially when they didn't eat for 3 days because of the heat. It really takes a toll on their body. So today finally cooled down, and it seemed to be not of a big huge change. So the birds flew really good, but you don't always get this type of flying conditions. But when you do, you take advantage of it. You put the birds up. I'm happy with what they did, because even though you guys get the end of it, the kit flew for a very good time. They flew for a very, very good time. So I'm happy with it, and I'll continue to just kind of work with them. But I'm gonna start removing trouble birds in 2 weeks. I give my birds time to get back into flying condition, because I don't want to call just because I'm calling. But I do want to make sure I call birds that I really don't need the trait of. And see, there's that bird that doesn't want a kit right there. That red model. She's a beauty. She's got a good roll on her. Look at her. She's working her butt off in the sky. But I can't be having that, guys. Oh, there's another good one right there. This guy's coming in about 20 feet, very fast. Start putting him up again. But yeah, these are the birds I'm working with right now, and I got the other kit locked down right now. I must try to start finding the cockbirds first. So this is mainly all cockbirds, but I will be working on getting my hands up here very soon. But right now I'm just trying to get the cockbirds up, and trying to get them to flying condition. As you know, this time of year with the heat, they get very dominant. They want to breed. They want to chase hens. So this is the time to separate hens and cocks. And if you want them to fly and focus on flying, they need to be separated so they can focus on doing their job. And if you don't separate them, the cocks are going to be wasting their energy driving the hens. And if they get too strong, they're going to be a lot of clapping in the sky, a lot of just messing around, a lot of fighting. So if they're too fit, you're going to see it in the way they fly. So, guys, around this time, spring, like once 2 to 3 weeks of flying, I separate my hens and my cocks. They're gonna start burning off those winter fat, and all you want is just them to fly and to kit. And then after that, the rest is up to you what you do in your training method. I will be running them, and I will be starting testing their rolling skills here. So I'm gonna start using feed to help them in the roll. When I do this family, it's not very hard. I do use peas and safflower for this family, because once you start getting them in the roll, they do get very frequent. And if you don't have that fat content, you're gonna have birds that are just gonna bump on you. So with this family, you need it. I know my Havoc crew birds, if you give them safflower, they just land on you. They won't even fly. They'll probably circle twice and land on you. But this family, if you give them safflower, it'll help them fly and help them in the roll. So I will use that on my birds. Again, this is just my birds. But guys, it is what it is. Everybody flies it differently. Do you need it? No. The most thing you really need is just wheat, milo, and peas is all I really use. Safflower is just something I slowly added in, but with it going up so high right now, it's like 75 bucks for a 50-pound bag, guys, over here in Minnesota. So I rarely use it. I still got like half a bag from last year, so I rarely use my safflowers. But you know, when I do it, it's just to make sure that they're in flying condition first, and then they have to start reacting towards my my roll feed before I even attempt to give them safflower. So they have to be in the roll first, guys, before I give them safflower. If they're not reacting towards my feed, that means that they're not getting the program down. And a lot of times when competition comes, guys, you want them to roll at a specific time. So, you know, it kind of goes back to, you know, everybody who flies competition feeds their birds differently from an everyday fly. You know, the guys that don't, well, they must have done something right. But as far as I'm concerned, you know, like anybody who tells you otherwise, you're kind of iffy on it, unless their birds is already just active naturally without needing that. I do select for that. A lot of my breeders are what I call natural performers. They don't need to be mimicked with feed to roll. That's my level of stress that I do on the birds before I stock it. Okay, I don't know how other guys do it, but I like to stress on my birds. By stressing them out, you get to really see how they perform and how they really react towards stress. And if they're stressed and they can't perform even half as good, they won't make it to my stock loft. Okay, and so basically I'm gonna be running these birds on the boot camp pretty soon here. As you can see, they're just slowly starting to get the hang of coming in for feed. So these birds are just coming back into the roll and coming back into flying condition. So I will give them another 2 more weeks, just to make sure, because I'm not ready. Like I said, I'm not flying for competition, but I want to make sure that they're fly ready. So whatever's flying right now will be pushed in the next 2 weeks here, and I will be stressing them out. And no, I'm not selecting any breeders, but I'm gonna stress them out just so that I can see who's got the heart to be put away, who's got the heart to commit to the role, who's got the heart to kit, you know, start taking notes. So I usually don't take notes until I start putting them into that routine of training them. And usually the first time I run my boot camp, I really don't punish the birds. You know, I know a lot of guys are like really strict, like, oh, you know, if your birds don't kit within the first time of boot camp, you know, they go to the B team or they go to the C team. Well, here I don't really create a team, B team, team 1, team 2. I don't believe in that, because then you start, you know, focusing on that kit more than you do the rest. What I do is I just mark them down. So if ever competition comes, I know which birds, you know, I can count on that'll put up good points. So that's how I do it. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, guys, I haven't done well in competition because, you know, I had a location where hawks is just really bad, and I was losing hundreds of birds. So now that I move, I think I might have a better chance, you know, keeping my birds in the air. So now I'm not feeling the pressure of, oh, you know, this bird passed my stress test, so let me stock it. Now I have the luxury of saying, hey, you know what, I can keep this bird in the air a little bit longer, you know. And some guys are more luckier than others, but you know, the way it is you do it the way you want to do it. There's no right or wrong way. It's just the way I do it. And you know, these guys will be going to boot camp in like 2 weeks. And you know, if you follow me, I'll take you along with what I do when I stress them out. And these guys, like I said, I have added guys. The other day when I did a video, I have 4 birds that were in the cage training. Well, the same day, the wind was so heavy that it blew the cage off, and those 4 birds in the cage fell off the roof, and those 4 birds were flying, and I thought they were goners because they took off and they were out of sight. But I guess they must have roamed around, realized, hey, there's not really much homes around here. They all came back. So I got all of them back, but you know, it is something that I think I'm pretty lucky here. I must have picked a good place, because obviously the birds get blown away. They have nowhere else to go. They seem to come back to this little circle I'm at, and they come right back home. So I knock on wood, I have not lost any birds here. Hopefully I don't ever lose any birds here. But at the same time, you know, I'm gonna count my days, and I'm not gonna take it for granted. But yeah, guys, I'll take you along, like I said, if you want to follow. There's no right or wrong, but my stress test that I do, my boot camp that I run for my birds, you know, I like to do it just so that I know that, hey, you know what, if somebody decides they want to come visit me, I can run a quick run and make sure that my birds are gonna perform on the day they come visit. You know, like, you don't want to show off, you know, flat birds. I mean, I don't want them to roll every time, but you know, it'd be nice to know that, you know, when I need them to, I can count on it, you know. So everybody has a different way of doing it. My way might not be yours, but you know, I got nothing to hide. You know, I'm happy with the birds I have so far. They've reacted well to feed, which is the number one thing, guys. If your birds do not react well with feed, then you know, you might struggle to figure out what gets them to peak out. But you know, to me, I like to try new things even when I'm not in competition. I like to try it. I don't do it all the time. I'll probably do it like once every 2 months, just to make sure, you know, I still understand my birds and my family. And you know, guys, there's no set rule. Like, you're not going to be able to do the same thing you did with this kit as you will with that kit, you know. Every kid's a little different, and you cannot run them on the same feed or the same boot camp and expect the same results, because every kid is going to be a little bit different. So you have to adjust to your birds. At least I do. You know, and I think a good coach will also be able to adjust his training, you know, along with what his players are like, you know. Like, if you have a basketball player that can't jump high, or if you have a football player that can't run fast, I mean, you're not going to let that be a running back. You're not going to make him into a receiver, you know. But what you could do is make him a tight end if he wants to catch balls and make tackles and all that, you know. So as a coach, you got to know how to apply your players. And so to me, you know, like, not every team is going to be the best, even if they're from the same parents, you know. So, you know, this year's bird might react different from next year's bird, and they could be from the same, you know, pairing. So, everybody does it different. I like to switch up my feed all the time, just so that I know what they do and how they react. And, you know, that's just how I do it, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, I got high hopes. I think I got a good understanding of this family. I still got a lot to learn, and most importantly, guys, you know, like, we got to remember that they're birds, they're not a machine. So that's something we could talk about next time. But you know, I know that a lot of guys like those high velocity birds, and they tend to go towards that, and it's great to have those birds, don't get me wrong. But you know, I feel like it's a lot of wasted time trying to just try to breed for that and then train for that. You know, I think a lot of it has to do with the bird having to mature, has to build the right muscles, has to do everything right before, you know, you can start seeing those type of velocities. But everybody does it differently. I do it my way, you do it your way. But you know, I'll run you guys through my boot camp, and I'll try to record them. Hopefully they're not rolling too much, because a lot of times they do. I'm busy watching. I'm not going to record so that I know what my teams are doing. So a lot of times when I do these videos, you're not seeing the best of them. But if they do come and they start popping, and I'm done watching them or assessing them, I will try to record them. But you know, most likely, you know, when my birds are working it, my attention goes to them, and I want to focus and see what they're doing, the style that they're rolling, the depth that they're rolling. You know, I want to see all of that. So you guys might not see all the hotness of it, but you know, hopefully I could catch a glimpse of it for you guys. But yeah, guys, just a little something for you guys. Again, everybody runs their own program the way they want to run it. I like to peak my birds up every now and then. I don't do it all the time, but you know, I'm okay with the average spinning bird. You know, one that just rolls average. You know, to me that's okay, because you know, with the proper feed, you know, an average roller, you can make them faster. But if a bird's already high velocity, you know, making him even more higher velocity is a little bit harder. And I think High and Biker talked a little bit about that. But you know, it is what it is, guys. Again, everybody does it different. I'll tell you guys what I'm doing with mines and what's worked for me. But you know, just follow along if you guys enjoy. You know, again, this is pretty much just like my own little diary for my kids, you know, for my followers, so that everybody knows what I'm doing. You know, we never know what's gonna happen to us, and you know, like I said, I want my kids to be able to pick up where I left off. So once they see this, you know, and they ever want to get into this, these will be theirs. So they'll be able to work with it and enjoy them and be able to pick up where I left off. So this is really a diary, my diary for my kids, and you know, see how it goes. But yeah, guys, enjoy your birds, enjoy what they do, enjoy this laziness. This is fine. Usually let them stay up here for like 10 minutes because I don't want to feed them right away, because once they start rolling hard, you don't want to feed them right away, because you know, those working birds are not going to eat right away, so then they're going to get thin on you. So I usually let my birds settle down for like 10 minutes before I start feeding them. So this is totally fine by me. In the cities though, I would not allow this. Cities, I will throw a little bit of feed in there and have them trapped right away. But out here in the countryside, you can kind of get a little bit of grace. But all right, guys, Effortless Roller, we out.